Okay, take two. I realized that my my cursor was on the screen the entire time, so the video didn't turn out too good. But hello, it's currently 5 a.m. G3 here, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do D-Light Nair, down air, or the 3-hit true combo / Russian Mafia on Gauntlets, blah blah blah. Who gives? Okay, so let's first go over. I'm going to show this on controller, and I'm going to show this on keyboard. I might fuck it up because, I'm not 100% consistent on it, but I'm pretty consistent. And we're gonna first go over the keyboard, and then we're gonna go over controller, because I know controller players struggle a lot with this input. So, let's first go over the input. The input is downlight, dodge jump, nair, jump downer, or jump recovery, based on the percentage. And how you input this is you hold, again, this will be WASD, right? So you hold S, which is down, and then D, which is forward, or backwards, A, depending on the side. You click down both of those, and you do the D-light, like this. When the D-light hits, you let go of S, and you just hold forward, aka D, right? Then comes the hard part, getting the chase dodge. And the tip I have for this is something we call pianoing, which is clicking two buttons in very quick succession, but not clicking them down at the same time, but instead pressing it with one finger, and then the moment you press it down, you press it with the other finger, because you have two fingers, right? So instead of clicking 1 and 2 together, which you can do, but as you see, sometimes it will give a random example. Sometimes it will give me my salt taunt, sometimes it will give me my cape taunt, which is not very consistent. But if you click 1 and then 2, you see? Two different inputs, listen. Like this, right? And then you just do it a bit faster. So you should hear two different inputs. It's 1, 2. Not 1 plus 2 together. It's 1, 2. 1, 2. And this will make it so you always get the button you're pressing first to minimize the amount of failures. So again, the input is D-light, let go of down, hold forward, and then dodge jump. Dodge jump very quickly, right? Like that. And there, I fucked it up. Fucked it up again. Fog. And I'm doing this on 3 decks, more decks, so the downer might be some dodge frames, but that doesn't matter. The input is still the same. It's D-light, hold forward, dodge jump. Right? Like that. And you need to hold forward while you're pressing it. The dodge and the jump, that is. And then you just let go when you see yourself leaving, and then you click attack. Right? So you just do, D-light, hold forward, dodge and jump. Dodge first, and then you input the jump downer. And again, at higher percentages where they will kill, you do jump recovery instead of jump downer. But the input is exactly the same. You D-light, you hold forward, you do the input, which I'm currently messing up, and then jump recover. Like this. And the recovery is a lot easier to hit through than the downer, because you don't need to, or you have basically faster startup. Okay, so that's how you do the input on keyboard. Again, you do down, forward, click D-light, let go of down, hold forward, click dodge jump. Remember, piano the inputs, so you don't click them together. You click dodge first, then jump, but in a quick succession. You'll dodge jump while holding forward, and then when you see yourself leave the ground, you input the nair. So that's how you do it on keyboard. And for some reason, or something I know, is that a lot of controller players are struggling with doing this even semi-consistently. Because this is a hard input, right? It's going to take a while to get it super consistent. Like, I can hit it pretty consistently, but again, it's not 100% consistent. I fuck it up every now and then. Right? As you can see, I'm pretty consistent on it. So, there's a little trick for you controller players, right? The main problem for you controller players is that you probably have dodge on your trigger button. And for people who don't play controller, triggers are the ones at the bottom, you know, that usually have to be pushed in a bit before they register. Like if you think an Xbox 360 controller or Xbox One controller, right? So the problem that you guys probably have is timing the dodge before the jump. Because what happens is a button, like my A button here, registers the moment I press it. Because it doesn't need to travel anywhere. Like it doesn't have like a travel time before it registers the input. But the trigger needs to be pushed down, you know, all the way before it registers. So even if I click dodge and jump, basically simultaneously, there's a chance that I will get my jump out first, which is a problem, right? Because you don't want your jump to come out before your dodge, because that's not how the combo works. So what I recommend doing is most players, right? They only use one trigger and one bumper, and bumpers are the ones you weapon throw on. And some players, maybe they have dodge on bumpers and weapon throws on triggers, you know, whatever. What I recommend doing is taking the same type of button that you dodge on, for example, if it's the trigger or the bumper, and the other one that is most likely not being used, put that to jump. So, for example, on my controller, on my left trigger, I have dodge, and on my right trigger, I have jump. So now, if I click down left and right trigger, and I piano them, you know, I click them, the left one first, but I click them very quick, I have the same travel time. So it's a lot easier to time instead of trying to time a trigger that is by default slower than a button. There's no way to click a trigger as fast as a button. What you could also do is you could rebind your control scheme so one of your buttons is dodged, but you know, that is also very complicated if you don't like playing like that. So I would recommend just using one of your buttons that you don't generally use in gameplay and bind that to jump. Even if it's only for this combo, at least you're using the button. And the input is exactly the same on controller as it is in keyboard. You hold downwards, and then you do down forward, you know, to do the D-light. When you hit the D-light, you push it straight forward instead of down forward. Click your two triggers. You click the dodge one before you click the jump one. And then you will get the input. And then you click your light attack. And I might fuck it up because I've recently swapped to keyboard from controller. Ooh, I'm cursed. Oh no. There we go. I hit it. And back when I was a controller player, I was able to hit this basically consistently because I had labbed it so much. But I've recently swapped, or not recently, maybe like 2 months back, I swapped from full-time controller to full-time keyboard. So now the input feels a little bit rusty for me. But it's basically the exact same input. You D-light, you click forward, you click down your two triggers, and you will usually get the chase dodge with a little bit of practice. And now I'm messing it up a lot, so ignore this. This is just keyboard, this is just controller being difficult. So you will have to excuse me, but this definitely makes the input a lot easier. There you go, I'm getting it a bit more consistently now. But anyway, so that's the little tip I have for controller players. Is that make sure that your dodge and your jump button that you have for doing this combo are the same type of button. Be it a trigger, a bumper, or just your normal X, Y, square, circle, triangle, blah blah blah, right? Because if you try to mix and match two buttons that are by default different speeds, you're gonna have to adapt your timing a lot, which makes it a lot harder. So a friend of mine named Count, who was trying to learn this, and he's a controller player, and he was like, G3, how the fuck did you learn this, consistently? How were you able to hit it on controller so consistently? Like, oh, I just rebinded my spare trigger button to jump, right? And then he was like, why would you do that? Oh, it's because my jump button on the controller, or like the buttons and the trigger, are different speeds, so it's a lot harder to time. But don't worry about messing up the combo. You see, I still mess it up sometimes. This is going to take a lot of time to learn. It is a hard input by default. So don't be afraid if you don't hit it consistently on the first try, or on the first day, or on the first hour. I spend usually like 30 minutes every day before I start playing, doing the input over and over again like this. And after maybe like a week, maybe like a month, depending on how fast you are at learning stuff, you'll get used to it. And it's okay to get frustrated, but don't just throw in the towel just because you can't do it, because everyone can learn this. It's just pressing buttons in the correct sequence. And the moment you learn the timing, you will be able to do this semi-consistent. And the amount of damage you will gain from doing this compared to doing, like, for example, D-Light Dash Jump. Like, D-Light Dash Jump is 13 damage plus the downer, 15. So you will get 13 plus 15, and here you get another 8. And also you will get a kill confirm that kills faster. Also, it's just fun to do. It's a fun little combo. Anyway, that's gonna be my guide for D-Light Nair ground pound, or D-Light Nair recovery, / D-Light Nair downer, and also my little trick I have for controller players. Rebind your extra buttons and use them, and it will make learning this, if you're a controller player, 10 times easier. It's still not gonna be free. You will still need to put in the time. There's no way to cheat this. There's no way to instantly learn how to do it. It is going to take a while, but once you get it down, it is very satisfying and very rewarding. Anyway, thanks for watching.